It's not about neglect. It's about negotiation. Okay. So let's just start there. You're saying, is the only way to solve this me neglecting my own needs, me neglecting my own desires? No, I don't want you to feel neglected in this relationship, nor do I want your partner to feel neglected in the relationship. It's not about anyone being neglected. It's about negotiating. Okay. Remember what I have been saying over and over the last few lives. It is going to be incredibly, 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 incredibly rare for both partners, or if you're poly, all partners, that's even trickier, to be identical on their kinks and fetishes and energy levels and desire, all of that. It's incredibly rare that you are going to be 100,000% aligned with your partner. So negotiation and patience and humility really are the name of the game here. So I'm going to approach this in a couple of different ways. The first one, if she was neglected in the relationship for 9 years, her heart tank is on empty, right? She's probably going to feel really low, really lonely, empty, whatever. And so if she's gone through a season of drought, she does need to go through a season of being filled back up. And that's what I'm hearing from you. But I don't want this season to be ongoing and drain you, okay? Because we want her to show up for you. But in order for her to show up for you, she has to have something in her tank too. So that's what I'm hearing right now that you're doing. You are filling her tank back up. And that's beautiful. But at the same time, you are kind of neglecting your own desires, your own needs, how you can get filled back up. So in this season, I would say we want it to be a season. We want it to be short-lived where it's a little bit more one-sided. You're reinvesting because we weren't investing for a while, okay? So you're pouring back in, you're filling her up. But once she starts getting her tank filled, absolutely negotiate. You don't have to feel guilty or ashamed or like you can't take up space in this relationship because of how you've behaved in the past. There's going to need to be forgiveness and reconciliation, and there's going to be a new start that's required. And so she's going to need to extend empathy, grace, and forgiveness to you. And you're going to need to start over and renegotiate. Keep investing in a short season, okay? But when she starts feeling, okay, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling more connected to you again, that's when you can go, okay, you know how great you feel, how blissed out and free you feel when I show up for you in that way? I'm looking for that too. Could we talk about how you could top me and allow me to release in the same way that I've been topping you and allow you to release? This is a normal conversation when you have two switches. So short-lived season, we want this to be a short-lived season. When you start getting those indicators, and check in, ask her, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like the damage is kind of being mitigated a little bit? Do you feel like there's more connection between us? Do you feel like your tank is being filled? And if we start getting positive feedback, then absolutely open up those lines of communication, get vulnerable, and renegotiate. If you haven't negotiated at all, negotiate. If you have before, renegotiate here, okay? You've heard me say, Leo, hopefully. If not, I'm going to say it right now. That dominance and submission, dominant and submissive, are both service roles with a different appearance. So let's take that as our foundational paradigm here. This is what your submission to her can look like in this season. You want to submit to her. You want to surrender to her. You want to serve her as your dominant. This is the way she needs to be served right now. And so if you can get there, if you can tap into that topping her is actually being the most submissive to her in this season because you are providing the exact form of service she's demanding in this season. You picking up what I'm throwing down? I know it's not what you have completely in your mind. I get it. I know. But do you see where I'm going? If we can look at this like by me showing up for her in this way is in of itself me submitting. I'm surrendering my will to her will. Is that not submission? Does that knowledge and that paradigm give you any sense of fulfillment from the submissive side? Not, I know not what you're looking for, but any sense of fulfillment? Yes, for sure. Okay. So it does tap into that a little bit. Let that be the sustaining factor in this very short-term season. Okay? That this is not ideal. I understand. And we are going to advocate for your needs and for your desires. Absolutely. But in the meantime, you are learning and experiencing the pain of submission. True submission does not take place until there is a disagreement or conflict of wills. Look at you all. Y'all some fast time. I know. They busted that out. They busted that out. So right now, there's a conflict of wills. You want your submission to her to look different than what it looks like. She wants to be served in this way in this season right now. There's a conflict of wills. You are experiencing right now the pain of submission. I don't think it's the pain of dominance. I think it's the pain of submission that's actually creating some of the confusion that you're experiencing. So if we look at it that way, that's your pain, and that's part of it. We got to invest to fill her tank up, and once her tank is filled, then we go, okay, yeah, your tank is full. My tank is not doing so great. We need to negotiate as partners, as husband and wife, so that neither the husband nor the wife feel neglected. Neither the dominant nor the submissive feel neglected. That is not the purpose of this. DS should perpetuate connection. It should not create disconnection. And even in this season, look for small organic opportunities to infuse more of this type of submission that you want to give. Just like we were talking about the last live with Moon Pie and her husband, how she wants to worship him and kiss his feet when he comes home, and all he wants is dinner and a cold beer. And we took that scenario and expounded upon small ways she can start inducing more worship. Do the same thing. Look for small organic opportunities that would allow you to do that. And so, maybe it, instead of lay down and relax as I speak affirmations to you during this massage, maybe you kneel before her, use an honorific, and ask her if she requires a massage that day. And if she says no, then ask her, what does she require of you that day? You can play more in the gray area than what you're playing in right now, Leo. It doesn't just have to be service top domination. Because dominance and submission are both service roles with a different appearance, you can flip it a little bit and play in more of that gray area. She likes her massage. She likes those words of affirmation. What if instead of words of affirmation during massage, you kneel before her, grab her hand, kiss her hand, worship her hand, suck on her fingers, massage, I don't care. And that's when you worship. That's when you pour it out. Not when it's like words of affirmation and a massage from a top-down perspective, but it's worshiping her and elevating her from a bottom-up perspective.